Ferrari Documentary. Part 1. What if I told you one of the world's most famous luxury car brands wasn't built by an engineer? It wasn't started by a billionaire. And it wasn't created by someone who even knew how to design a car. Instead, it began with a young Italian boy who experienced heartbreak, poverty, and rejection before becoming one of the most respected names in automotive history. Today, Ferrari is worth billions of dollars. Its cars are driven by celebrities, athletes, royalty, and collectors across the globe. But long before the roaring V12 engines, before Formula One victories, and before the famous prancing horse logo, there was simply a boy named Enzo Ferrari trying to survive. This is the incredible story of how a poor young man built one of the greatest car brands the world has ever known. Part 2. The little boy who dreamed of speed. Enzo Ferrari was born on February 18, 1898, in the small Italian city of Modena. His father, Alfredo Ferrari, owned a modest metal workshop where he repaired machinery and fabricated metal parts. The family wasn't wealthy. They lived a simple life, and from a young age, Enzo spent countless hours watching his father work with steel, tools, and machines. Those early experiences sparked a fascination with mechanics. But the moment that truly changed his life came when he was just 10 years old. His father took him to watch a motor race. The roar of the engines, the speed, the excitement. Enzo was completely captivated. From that day forward, he dreamed of a life connected to racing. At the time, no one imagined that the quiet boy standing in the crowd would one day create the world's most famous sports car company. Part 3. Tragedy changed everything. Just as Enzo Ferrari began dreaming about a future in racing, life took a devastating turn. When Enzo was still a teenager, World War I swept across Europe, bringing destruction to millions of families. Then tragedy struck close to home. His older brother, Alfredo Jr., was drafted into the Italian army. Sadly, he never returned. He died during the war. Not long after, Enzo's father became seriously ill during a widespread flu outbreak. Within a short time, Enzo lost both his brother and his father. At only 18 years old, the young boy who once dreamed about race cars suddenly found himself carrying the weight of unimaginable grief. The family business collapsed. The workshop that had inspired his love for machines was gone. His dreams seemed to disappear along with it. To make matters worse, Enzo himself was called to serve in the Italian army. But fate wasn't finished testing him. During his military service, he contracted a severe illness that nearly took his life. He spent months recovering in a military hospital before finally being discharged. When he returned home, everything had changed. His father was gone. His brother was gone. There was no family business left. And the future he had imagined no longer existed. Most people would have accepted defeat. Most people would have abandoned their dreams. But Enzo Ferrari refused to give up. With almost nothing to his name, he packed his belongings and traveled to Turin, Italy, the heart of the country's automobile industry. He wasn't looking for fame. He wasn't looking for fortune. He was simply searching for one opportunity, one chance, to get closer to the world he had fallen in love with as a little boy. Little did he know, another painful rejection was waiting for him. Part 4. The rejection that could have ended everything. When Enzo Ferrari arrived in Turin, he believed this was finally his chance. Turin was the center of Italy's automobile industry, home to some of the country's biggest car manufacturers. If anyone could help him begin a career in cars, it would be here. His biggest dream was to work for Fiat, the largest automobile company in Italy. Confident but inexperienced, Enzo applied for a job. He imagined himself working around engines, learning from the best, and slowly making his way into the racing world. But the answer he received crushed him. Fiat rejected his application. The company didn't believe he had the experience or qualifications they were looking for. For many people, That rejection would have been the end of the dream. After losing his father, losing his brother, surviving war, and now being rejected by the very company he admired most. Anyone could have given up, but Enzo refused to let one rejection decide the rest of his life. Instead of complaining about the opportunity he didn't get, he searched for another one. Eventually, he found work with a small automobile company called CMN. His job wasn't glamorous. He tested cars, delivered vehicles to customers, and learned everything he could about automobiles. Every mile he drove taught him something new. Without realizing it, Enzo was preparing himself for a future far greater than he had imagined. Sometimes, the opportunity that changes your life isn't the one you wanted. It's the one you almost overlooked. Part 5. The young driver who refused to quit working at CMN gave Enzo more than just a paycheck. It gave him access to the world he had dreamed about since childhood. The more time he spent around cars, the stronger his passion became. Before long, he was given the chance to compete in motor races. Although he wasn't the fastest driver on the track, Enzo possessed something just as valuable. He understood machines. After every race, he paid close attention to what made one car perform better than another. While many drivers focused only on winning, Enzo studied every engine, every mechanical detail, and every lesson each race could teach him. His determination soon caught the attention of Alfa Romeo, one of Italy's most respected automobile manufacturers. Joining Alfa Romeo became the biggest breakthrough of his young career. At first, he raced for the company. Later, he began taking on greater responsibilities behind the scenes. The more experience he gained, the more he realized something important. He didn't just want to drive fast cars. He wanted to build a racing team that could defeat everyone else. That dream would eventually become the foundation of Ferrari. But turning that dream into reality would require one of the biggest risks of his life. And the world was about to discover the name: Enzo Ferrari. Part 6. The Birth of a Dream. By the late 1920s, Enzo Ferrari had earned the respect of many people in the racing world. He was no longer just a driver. He had become a leader. In 1929, Enzo made one of the biggest decisions of his life. He founded Scuderia Ferrari in Modena. At the time, it wasn't a car company. It was a racing team. Its purpose was to prepare and manage racing cars, mainly for Alfa Romeo, while supporting talented drivers who dreamed of competing at the highest level. Enzo poured everything he had into the team. Long days became longer nights. Every race was another chance to prove that his team belonged among the best. His attention to detail became legendary. Nothing escaped his eyes. If a car was too heavy, he noticed. If an engine wasn't performing perfectly, he noticed. If a driver lacked discipline, he noticed that too. To Enzo, winning wasn't luck. It was the result of preparation, sacrifice, and perfection. Year after year, Scuderia Ferrari grew stronger. More drivers wanted to race for him. More victories followed. His name slowly became respected throughout Italy. But deep inside, Enzo wanted something even greater. He didn't just want to manage other people's cars anymore. He wanted to build cars carrying his own name. That dream would soon change the automobile industry forever. Part 7. The war that almost destroyed everything. Just as Enzo's dream was beginning to take shape, the world was thrown into chaos once again. World War II spread across Europe, bringing destruction wherever it reached. Like many factories across Italy, Ferrari's facilities were affected by the war. Production slowed dramatically. Resources became scarce. Many workers left to serve in the military. Then came another devastating blow. In 1944, the factory was heavily damaged during Allied bombing raids. Years of hard work seemed to disappear overnight. For many business owners, that would have been the end. But Enzo Ferrari had survived hardship before. He refused to let war destroy his dream. After the war ended, he immediately began rebuilding. Brick by brick, machine by machine. He rebuilt the factory from the ground up. Then, in 1947, history was made. Ferrari introduced its very first car to carry the Ferrari name, the 125S. Powered by a V12 engine, it represented everything Enzo had dreamed about since he was a young boy watching his first motor race. The journey had taken decades. It had demanded sacrifice, courage, and patience. But at last, the dream had become reality. The name Ferrari was finally on the road. Little did the world know, this was only the beginning of a legacy that would inspire generations to come. Part 8. Building a legend. The Ferrari 125S was more than just a car. It was proof that Enzo Ferrari's lifelong dream had finally become reality. But building one successful car wasn't enough. Enzo wanted Ferrari to become the greatest racing brand the world had ever seen. Only 2 weeks after the Ferrari 125S made its debut, it claimed its first victory. That win changed everything. People began paying attention. Drivers wanted to race for Ferrari. Customers wanted to own a Ferrari. And investors started believing that the small company from Modena could become something extraordinary. Enzo believed that racing wasn't just about winning trophies. Every race was a classroom. Every victory taught his engineers how to build faster and stronger cars. Every defeat taught them what needed to improve. This philosophy became the heart of Ferrari. The racetrack became the company's testing ground. The lessons learned on Sunday would appear in the road cars people drove on Monday. As the years passed, Ferrari became known for producing machines that were not only incredibly fast but also beautifully designed. Owning a Ferrari became a symbol of success. It wasn't simply transportation anymore. It was a statement. Business leaders dreamed of owning one. Movie stars proudly displayed them. Royal families added them to their collections. Ferrari had transformed from a small Italian workshop into one of the most admired automotive brands in the world. But with success came new rivals. One man, in particular, would challenge Enzo Ferrari in a way he never expected. His name was Ferruccio Lamborghini. Their rivalry would become one of the greatest stories in automotive history. Part 9. The rivalry that changed everything. By the 1960s, Ferrari had become the name every sports car manufacturer wanted to beat. Its victories on the racetrack had earned worldwide respect. Its road cars were admired across Europe and beyond. To many people, Ferrari seemed untouchable. But one customer was unhappy. Ferruccio Lamborghini, a successful businessman who built tractors, owned several Ferraris. Although he admired their speed, he was frustrated by their reliability, and especially by repeated clutch problems. According to the widely told story, Lamborghini decided to share his concerns directly with Enzo Ferrari. The meeting did not go as he had hoped. Accounts differ on exactly what was said, but the conversation ended badly. Instead of accepting the criticism, Enzo reportedly dismissed Lamborghini's opinions. Whether every word of the story happened exactly as remembered or not, one thing is certain. The encounter motivated Lamborghini to build his own sports cars. What began as criticism soon became competition. Within a few years, the world had two legendary Italian supercar brands battling for performance, design, and prestige. The rivalry pushed both companies to innovate faster than ever. While competitors came and went, Ferrari stayed true to Enzo's philosophy. Build exceptional cars. Race with passion. Never settle for second best. By now, Ferrari had become much more than a business. It had become a symbol recognized in every corner of the world. But Enzo Ferrari's greatest achievement wasn't the cars he built. It was the legacy he left behind. Part 11. Reinventing Ferrari for a new generation. Many legendary companies disappear after their founders are gone. Ferrari didn't. After Enzo Ferrari's death in 1988, the company continued evolving while protecting the values he had built. Ferrari embraced new technologies without losing its identity. Its engineers introduced lighter materials, more advanced engines, improved aerodynamics, hybrid technology, and cutting-edge electronics. Each new model became faster, safer, and more efficient than the last. The company also continued investing heavily in Formula One, using racing as a laboratory to improve its road cars. Ferrari understood something many businesses fail to realize. Innovation isn't about abandoning your history, it's about building on it. Today, Ferrari is more than a car manufacturer. It is a global luxury brand. Its logo appears on clothing, watches, museums, and racing events around the world. Despite producing relatively few cars each year, Ferrari remains one of the most profitable and admired automotive companies on the planet. More than a century after a young boy first fell in love with racing, his dream continues to inspire millions. Part 12. The lesson Enzo Ferrari left for the world. Enzo Ferrari's story isn't really about cars. It's about refusing to let life's hardest moments define your future. He lost his father. He lost his brother. He survived war. He was rejected by the company he wanted to work for. He watched his factory suffer during World War II. Yet he refused to stop believing in his dream. Instead of allowing failure to defeat him, he used every setback as fuel to move forward. Today, millions of people recognize the Ferrari logo, but very few know the painful journey behind it. The next time you see a Ferrari drive past you, remember this. It wasn't built by a man who had an easy life. It was built by someone who refused to quit, no matter how difficult life became. Sometimes, success doesn't belong to the smartest person or the richest person. It belongs to the one who keeps moving forward when everyone else would have given up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to discover the untold stories behind the world's greatest companies and the people who built them, subscribe to Business Uncovered. Until next time, remember, every legendary brand has a story, and we're here to uncover it.